What's up, West Viera? Here's what went down the first 3 months in 2025. So in West Viera, we saw 86 sales. Now, when I looked at the same time frame last year, so Q1 of last year, we're up from 76 sales. And that represents about a 13% increase in overall sales activity for West Viera. So if you're wondering, yes, people are still buying. Now, for the sake of this video, I have omitted new construction sales. So we're only gonna be focusing on the sales that had represent what we call a resale, or a seller put their home on the market and a new buyer purchased that property. And I looked at all the neighborhoods and some of them went wild. So Heritage Isle, which is a 55 and up community, had 14 sales. The competing neighborhood for Heritage Isle is Bridgewater, which also, ironically enough, had 14 sales. Those two communities combined represent 28 sales, which is 32% of all sales in West Viera for Q1 2025. The next neighborhood that popped off was Sonoma. There were 9 sales in Sonoma, which represents a good amount of transactions for that neighborhood. And the fourth one, as a notable mention, would be Fairway Lakes. Now, Fairway Lakes had 4 sales in Q1, which typically is how many sales Fairway Lakes sees in the entire year. And there were scattered sales in the other West Viera neighborhoods that I won't mention, but the bulk of them happened in these 4 communities. Now let's talk about the median sales price. So median sales price last year was $580,000. This year, that has increased to $642,500. Now, please keep in mind, this is across the board, so it's all of the sales we saw that 11% increase. Now, there are some homes that have lost value, and generally speaking, for like an example, this would be someone that purchased during the peak of COVID, and they've now tried to sell their home. Generally speaking, that homeowner is not going to be able to sell their home for more. And if you're curious about your home's value, or you want to know like what's happening in the surrounding pockets of your neighborhood, send me an email, I'll put together a report for you. Let's talk about average days on market. If we had a crystal ball and every seller wants to know how long is it going to take to sell my home, I've got some good data for you. So last year, we saw the average days on market at 51 days. That has actually increased to 61 days for 2025. So home sales are taking a little bit longer, or it's a little bit slower for a property to receive a contract. So what's all of this mean, and you want to know my perspective on it? Well, buyers are active and it's the spring market, so it's going to continue in that direction. We saw home prices up for the most part, and 55 plus communities were the hottest sub-market in West Viera, which means that retirees are out there house shopping like it's Black Friday at Costco. Shoot me an email to shane@thebergmangroup.com if you want to know your home's value or what is happening in your neighborhood. Also, should I do these quarterly or should I maybe move them to monthly? Let me know in the comments.